Good afternoon and welcome to the broadcast. This is Lunchtime News. My name is Jackie Wambiru. Our sign language interpreter is Anna Wangeshi. Well, we have a comprehensive bulletin lined up, and to kick us off, we shall be taking a look at matters politics, where Agano Party presidential candidate David Mwaure Waihiga has vowed to deal with corruption by ensuring equity and access to justice should he be elected the fifth president of Kenya. Mwaure urged Kenyans to rally behind his candidature come August 9th polls. His running mate Ruth Mutua blamed the current government of not doing much to address unemployment, adding that their ticket would address this by providing an environment that attracts investors.
In our manifesto, we are looking at this whole giant of corruption. That's key. We want to fight it. We want to be the government that will kill corruption kabisa, na inawezekana. Singapore, Malaysia, Botswana, kwingine, Finland, wameiua. Nani resolve, determination, na straightforward. We will go and recover our money that's lost. We will create industries. We will increase money in the grassroots because our economic policy is empower the people. When we empower the people, we empower Kenya.
Why would a sitting president confidently say that we are losing 2 billion in a day? He's supposed to be the chief whip. So he's supposed to have wiped out the first 2 billion that got lost the first time. Why do we have to lose 140 billion a week so that we say it or we report it in a speech? He's supposed to be the first person to clean up the mess. Kwa hivyo, for us, we are saying yes, he has messed up. He should own up and allow the change to begin. The Badilisha team, the new dawn to come in. Na ilete mabadiliko.
Other news, members of the Kasarani cycling community in Nairobi have urged Kenyans to embrace a cycling culture in a bid to cut down on transport costs and enhance physical fitness. The group, which cycled from Nairobi to Thika Town, said it will work towards creating more awareness about the benefits of cycling.
Speaking in Thika's Makongeni estate, the group, through Captain Kevin Njoroge, said in the face of rising cost of fuel and lifestyle diseases, cycling should be encouraged not only as a sport but also as a crucial means of transport.
Today's event is creating awareness about cyclists and about the respect that should be accorded to cyclists on the road.
Njoroge emphasized the need to address the safety of cyclists on the road. The group urged establishments to consider creating more parking spaces for bicycles. For Lunchtime News, I am Esther Bodo.
Now, locals of Madongoi area in Ngomeni ward of Mwingi North are urging the government to stop the construction of Kenya Defence Forces training in the area. The residents say there is need for extensive consultations in the proposed project to iron out some contentious issues highlighted by the host community.
The locals allege that they were left out in deliberation to set up the military training facility.
Mimi mwenyewe kama mbunge wa area hii sijajua maneno haya. Hii ni mpango ambayo imetengenezwa na Kitui County Government bila kuhusisha wananchi na viongozi wa Mwingi North. Kwa hivyo leo tumetoka hapa na kauli moja kwamba hakuna ardhi ambayo itachukuliwa hapa hata kama ni nani anataka kuichukua bila idhini na makubaliano na wananchi wa Mwingi North.
They claim that over 250 families risk being left homeless since issues pertaining to compensation are yet to be discussed.
Hiyo ndio imesababisha mkutano wa leo kwamba watu wakakuja pamoja leo ili kwamba tujadiliane kama tutakubaliana ardhi iweze kuchukuliwa hivyo watu waweze kuwa displaced, na tumekubaliana ya kwamba hiyo hatutaki. Tutaenda kotini ili kwamba tusimamishe hilo na watu wetu waweze kuhudumiwa na serikali zilizopo zote mbili ipasavyo.
The proposal to construct the facility was reportedly born out of the need to beef up security in the region. The locals said that there is need for proper consultation about the project. Elvis Otieno, for Lunchtime News.
And now we cross over to KBC County, where an Azimio rally is currently underway, whereby the Azimio presidential candidate Raila Odinga and his running mate Martha Karua are expected at the burial of mother to Kitutu Chache North Member of Parliament Jeffrey Asanyo. Now we'll be joining our reporter Wycliffe Okech to give us more details on what is happening on the ground later on. For now, we cross over to Isiolo County, where Isiolo North Member of Parliament Hassan Oda is calling on the government to roll out a disarmament operation in Wajir West to bring an end to attacks on herders in the county of Isiolo. The call to action comes after an attack left 3 herders from Merti village dead and 8 others nursing serious injuries.
Leaders are calling for an end to banditry attacks in parts of Wajir and Isiolo. The latest attack left 3 people dead and 8 others injured and 1,000 livestock missing.
Ni vizuri serikali iweke mkakati ya kufanya preemptive action. Yaani ile action ambayo wakisikia kuna watu kadhaa wanajipanga kuenda kufanya uhalifu, badala ya kuongojea na kureact, iwe serikali inachukua hatua ya kupreempt na kuchukua hatua.
Isiolo North Member of Parliament Hassan Oda lauded the Isiolo security teams for their prompt response to the incident, even as he called on the security teams from Wajir to follow suit and avert further violent incidents.
Waweze kuwajibika. Nina hakika walikuwa na habari. Na kama wangechukua hatua, huo ufahamizi haingetendeka. Ile maisha tumepoteza, hatungeweza kupoteza. Wale watu ambao wamepata majeraha, hawangepata majeraha. Wengi wa hawa watu wale wako hospitali saa hii ni wale ambao ng'ombe zao zimeenda kabisa.
Oda urged leaders to speak up against crime instead of funding it.
Na ningehimiza serikali in fact waweke permanent GSU camp hiyo eneo ya Micha. Kwa saa hii, kwa sababu mifugo yote hata zile zimekuwa recovered, hakuna mahali wataenda, hakuna mahali ingine iko na nyasi. Ningehimiza hawa GSU wakiwa na APC yao, wakiwa na lori yao, wakiwa na hizo personnel na hizo equipment zote, waweze kuweka kampi kule mpaka hiyo maji ishe.
The national government has been further called upon to introduce stringent measures to bring the culprits to book. The ongoing drought in the country has also been blamed for the rise in the conflict. Yusufar reporting for Lunchtime News.
And now allow me to take a step back, whereby we'll be crossing over to KBC County, where the Azimio La Umoja is currently touring KBC County, and Azimio La Umoja presidential candidate Raila Odinga and his running mate Martha Karua are expected to attend the burial of former Kitutu Chache North Member of Parliament Jeffrey Asanyo before leading campaign rallies in the county. Now let's cross over and join our reporter Wycliffe Okech, who will give us more details on the developments.
Well, thank you so much, Wambiru, back in Nairobi. Right here, we are at a stadium called Nyamarambe Stadium here in South Mugirango constituency, KBC County, where the Azimio presidential candidate and his running mate, Martha Karua, will be heading straight here from the burial that they are currently attending. Like you rightly put it, right now they're attending the burial ceremony of the mother to the former Member of Parliament for Kitutu North Member of Parliament, that is Geoffrey Asanyo. From there, they will be flying directly to here, where they are expected to lead the campaigns as they seek to drum up more support for the Azimio coalition in the run-up to the 9 August general polls. But before then, Wambiru, you'll allow me just to engage with some of the residents here, maybe to get a feeling of the ground. What do they expect from the Odinga's visit to this area? Let me just start with you, ndugu, nikianza na wewe, utanieleza majina yako na utueleze ujio wa kiongozi wa Azimio na running mate wake Martha Karua katika eneo hili linamaanisha nini kwenyu? Jina kwanza.
Jina naitwa Ibnalis Makanga Maikara. Hapa ni South Mugirango constituency. tunatarajia kuita huyu mwenzetu Raila Amolo Odinga na running mate yake Martha Karua. Tunawaombea Mungu awabariki, waendelee kutuongoza kwa hii nchi, wasinde kura yote. Tena tunaombea Maso Miongo Nyamweya, mambo ya gavana. Mungu wananchi wanaomba hapa wako 90% kwa Raila Amolo Odinga. 95. Kwa hivyo
na juzi tumeona kama muungano huo wa Azimio umezindua manifesto yake. Wewe kama mkazi wa eneo hili, unaona kama yale mambo ambayo yalisomwa pale yanazingatia mkazi wa eneo hili?
Kulingana na ile vile alitoa Azimio, walitoa nini yake manifesto, watu wengi wamefurahia area hii, wanataka wapewe hii 6,000 kwa wale watu maskini, wanataka hiyo pesa. Halafu na tena wanataka muombe aendelee kuongoza hii nchi mzuri kwa vile amepigania ugatuzi amepigania sana, ndio tunamuombea asinde, akuwe rais yetu ya nchi ya Kenya, rais wa 5.
Kwa majina anaitwa Elijah Mogendi Onditi.
Utatoa kofia kidogo.
Nimetoka hapa South Mugirango constituency. Tuko hapa Nyamarambe Green Stadium. Tunatarajia kupokea rais wetu wa 5 ambaye ni Raila Amolo Odinga.
Asante sana.
Pia.
Thank you so much.
Pia tunatarajia ambaye ni gavana mtarajiwa ambaye ni Manson Oyongo.
Thank you so much. Jackie Wambiru, those as you can notice, the people are elated here today with the coming of Raila Odinga and his running with Martha Karua. They're highly expecting the Azimio presidential candidate to address them, and probably will will break down the manifesto that was released the other day. The ODM leader will be breaking down to them as he seeks to woo them to support him in his presidential bid. Well, we'll be keeping tab on every development here, and we'll compile the same comprehensively in our successive bulletins. But for now, let me hand it back to you so that you can continue with the rest of the bulletin, Jackie.
Well, thank you so much, Wycliffe Okech, joining us from KBC County, where Azimio la Umoja presidential candidate Raila Odinga and his running mate Martha Karua are expected to lead campaign rallies in South Mugirango after attending burial service. Now, we shall be crossing over to Windsor Hotel in Nairobi County, whereby the 18th Ambassadors and High Commissioners Conference is currently underway. Now let's cross over, or rather it's in Kiambu County. Let's cross over where our reporter Ben Troy has been manning the ground and will give us more details.
Well, thank you so much, Jackie Wambiru, and as you've correctly put it, we are at the Windsor Golf and Country Club, where we've been pitching tent since morning. Today is actually the second day and the official opening day of the 18th Conference of Ambassadors and High Commissioners right here at Windsor, and the function was officially opened by CS Rachel Omamo, the CS for Foreign Affairs, flanked by her PS Kamau Macharia. And a lot has been talked about. Remember, this is the first summit that is being held since the COVID-19 pandemic struck. And they have also underscored how the Kenyan foreign policy has been for the last 10 years, just like taking stock. But now, allow me, because of the interest of time, to be joined by one of the High Commissioners. Her name is Catherine Muigai Mwangi, who is the Kenyan High Commissioner to South Africa. Karibu sana, Madam Ambassador. Now, this is the first time that this conference is being held in the last around 2 years because of the COVID-19 pandemic. First things first, what is the importance of this summit and what do you hope to achieve by the end of the conference?
Thank you very much. Indeed, this is the first time we're convening in person as the envoys of Kenya overseas. So it's significant in that we have ourselves here, all the envoys, and plus our leadership from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and our directors. So we are under guidance, as you have said, of the Cabinet Secretary, Madam Rachel Omamo, and also the Principal Secretary, Ambassador Macharia Kamau. And what we're doing is taking stock of how have we performed in terms of our foreign service and in terms of us who have been deployed to represent this country. So what we take stock of, what challenges have we had to endeavor with? What are our achievements? What have we achieved in line with what our mandate is, and secondly, what we were guided by our leadership in terms of objectives. Where are there still opportunities and where are the challenges insofar as our foreign service is concerned? So this is a wonderful opportunity for us then to get together and discuss these issues, and especially really to focus on the opportunities and come up with strategic recommendations that will continue to inform how we go about our foreign service for greatest impact for this nation and of course for influence, and to ensure that the image of Kenya continues to be right and continues to be in the space that it is supposed to be, which is basically, I think, Kenya in the world today is respected, it is recognized as a very developed country in terms of our thinking and the role we are playing in not just the continent, not even just this region, but in the world.
Yeah, Madam High Commissioner, this is the first time that you're holding this conference since Kenya was elevated in the UN Security Council. How has that impacted Kenya and the security in the region? We have Eastern Congo, we have Southern Sudan, we have a lot of security challenges in Africa.
Absolutely. I think the Kenya, as a member of the UN Security Council, has played a critical role in the area of peace, security, and stability. And our office, especially in New York, has been in the forefront discussing and especially representing African interests. And it really has been a big success story. And His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta himself, who is so engaged in the issues of the region, especially to do with peace, security, and stability, and the issue of integration, has led us in an excellent manner to be able to engage with the world and present African issues and ensure that the decisions that are being made, whether it's the UN Security Council or any other forum, is in the interest of Africa. So I believe at the UN Security Council we've had this opportunity to put Africa's issues, Africa's challenges, and what we wish the world to know and do about Africa in the forefront.
Thank you so much, Madam High Commissioner. I've been speaking to Madam High Commissioner, who is the High Commissioner for South Africa, and because of interest of time, I'm going to hand you back to studio, but unfortunately, we are out of time. I wanted us to interview also the ambassador to Germany. If you can allow me just one question, very quickly, in 30 seconds, sir. What do you aim to achieve, and how has Kenyan been able to address the challenges that have been, and especially with the COVID-19 pandemic?
Thank you very much. It's important that we cherish the incredible achievements our government has put together in the past 10 years. Kenya espouses a rules-based ethos in advancing its international relations. This ethos is the one we use in driving our international relations. Our foreign policy is agile, fearless, innovative, and in the heart of COVID, we campaigned for the UN Security Council, and we won. We won because of leadership, because Kenya is a convening power. We won because of our rules-based ethos. Kenya now is a convening power. It's a convening nation. People come to us because we are able to bring people together, and we enable people to see that they can work with us to achieve peace, not only in the region, but globally. It is important to note this because our diplomacy also enables us to bring in jobs. Over the past 10 years, we've been able to bring so many conferences which have resulted in incredible opportunities for business, for people with disabilities, for jobs and so on. Now we have in Nairobi here the United Nations Environment Program, the headquarters of the United Nations, the only one in the global south. So we're saying that this, together with the work we're doing on oceans, on environmental diplomacy, the world should come together here in Nairobi, not to reinvent the wheel, and to enable us also to push our agenda on the blue economy. So this is important for us to cherish our achievements and to look forward, that even as we go forward, we do not reinvent the wheel. The foundation is there, and this is the foundation we need to use to advance our cause into the future.
Thank you so much, Ambassador. Thank you so much. And of course, we have 120 plus former and even retired ambassadors right here, and this conference will go all the way to 18th, and we'll keep a keen eye to inform you what transpires or what is decided at the tail end of this conference. Back to you, Jackie Wambiru.
Well, thank you so much, Ben Troy, with an update on matters being deliberated, such as foreign policies, matters health, matters security at the 18th Ambassadors and High Commissioners Conference, which is underway at the Windsor Hotel. Now, we shall be crossing over to a different story where less than 60 days to the general election, stakeholders in women's rights advocacy are calling for collaboration with the media to support women's visibility and participation in politics. According to Annie Reri, the executive director of Federation of Female Lawyers in Kenya, there is evidence to show the critical role the media plays in gender mainstreaming. Reri also challenged political parties to give their female aspirants a fair chance to participate in active politics. She was speaking during a meeting between FIDA and the Kenya Editors Guild and a section of women aspirants, acknowledging the gender gap in media coverage. Stakeholders from the media sector challenge women seeking elective posts to be flexible and always ready to take up opportunities for media coverage to enhance their visibility.
We had what is now introduced, the consensus building, which really is not consensus. I know it was a lot of you sitting across 14 men and telling you, you'd better accept this thing. You go independent, tutahakikisha tumefanya nini? Tumekuangusha. We know that's what happened. But rest assured, even with that lesson, the new learnings are coming in. And political parties will have to walk the walk. That at the end of the day, even if you're having boardroom consensus, if we can prove for sure that you have the numbers as a woman, you should not be sacrificed at that level.
1 out of 4 people heard or read about in news are women. That translates to about 24%. So that means if you did not mind mathematics like I do, it means about 76% are men. 24 versus 76. Let me bring it closer. That means out of 10 people, 7 are men. We have to be aware of our responsibility then in avoiding intentional or unintended gender bias in reporting. Sometimes we do not even realize it.
The media also faces different challenges, and I've told you the biggest challenge that we have is if we look at women who cover politics, the number is very low compared to our male counterparts. At the decision-making table, as I've mentioned to you, it's still a challenge. But the good thing is that coverage of women issues is not just about women covering women, but it's about journalists covering women, both men and women.
I'm glad that a lot of our mainstream media have started what they call gender desks. That is something positive because it seeks to reach out to women voices and to give them space. But I also think it reflects something that is wrong. Because we are finding that these issues which the gender editor is handling are normally hidden inside the newspaper. inside an insert or a pull-out, somewhere in the middle pages. Yes, it may have a lot of space, but I'd prefer a situation where those issues
to the runway to showcase their talent and prowess in modeling. The event was used as a curtain raiser for the World Albinism Day being commemorated on Monday. Organizers say the fashion show is one of the ways of fighting stigmatization against persons living with albinism.
We want to change these perceptions, ladies and gentlemen, because stigma and ignorance are our greatest problem. In fact, the biggest challenge of disability is attitude, which we need to actually overcome.
Tunashukuru kwa sababu tumepata mashirika yametusupport ili kuendeleza hii agenda, ili tuweze kuonyesha watoto wetu ya kwamba self-esteem ni kitu ambacho tunaweza kukikataa na tuendelee kushughulika na mambo ya kujiendeleza.
Na ile uwezesho watapata kwa kusimama mbele ya watu na kuweza kuongea, tutawapatia pia training ili waweze kurepresent the society Kenya, Africa and globally at the end of it all.
Nominated Senator Isaac Mwaura said there is need for the national and county governments to increase their support to the community through funding.
The 2019 census gave our figure to be 9,729. The people who are benefited from this program are only 3,500, including those who have vitiligo. So majority of the people are not still benefiting. We need a budget of about 400 million every year if you're to target everyone. Right now the budget is about 100 million under the National Council for Persons with Disabilities. So there is need to have more advocacy.
Senator Mwaura urged the government to also consider nominating persons with albinism to higher offices.
There's a UN action plan. We need the government of Kenya to support the appointment of the AU Special Envoy on Albinism, so that then all of African countries can have an ambassador on albinism who can champion for these rights, including Kenya.
The World Albinism Day is being commemorated at the Karisa Maitha grounds in Malindi, Kilifi County. For Lunchtime News from Mombasa County, I am Anburu.
That report by Anburu brings us to our first break here on Lunchtime News. Don't go too far, we still have more news coming up.
I can't stay here and accompany you. After I become a human, I won't remember what happened, and I won't remember you.
Is it because he's no longer here? The one he was waiting for was you.
Me? But why me?
You want the soul gem?
If you still value the time we spent together, please let me borrow the gem. That day I met you was the worst thing that ever happened to me.
Candidates from the 254 came together to put up a spectacular show in Eldoret. Let's check it out.
The Film Commission is mandated to develop and promote the local film industry and attract international productions in the country.
Luciano the Messenger killed the show as he looked really composed. With a lot of mojo, he sang his heart out and truly the fans did not disappoint him as they jumped to his reggae tunes back to back.
Welcome back, and now to kick us off in the business segment, we have our guest in studio, who is engineer Dr. Johnson Matu, who is a board member at the Engineers Board of Kenya, to help us understand the third engineering partnership convention, which kicks off mid this week at the coast, bringing together, among other policymakers, industry experts, academicians. We do apologize for that. Well, we do apologize for that power outage. I'll take it again. And the Engineering Partnership Convention kicks off mid this week at the coast, bringing together, among others, policymakers, industry experts, academicians, researchers, trading service experts, and engineers. And we're joined by engineer Dr. Johnson Matu, who is a board member at the Engineers Board of Kenya, to help us understand how the convention will champion the shift to outcomes-based engineering education, the opportunities for growth, as well as safeguarding public safety and welfare in engineering services. Welcome to the studio, Engineer Matu.
Thank you, Jacqueline.
Yes, and to kick us off, perhaps give us an update on the state of aligning the engineering education to outcomes-based requirements.
Yeah, thank you so much. I would like, first of all, to welcome everybody to this Engineers Partnership Convention. And as you said, it will be held in Mombasa Beach Hotel from 15th to 17th this week, and we hope that everybody else can attend. This year's convention will be very important in the sense that it provides an opportunity for the key stakeholders in engineering sector in terms of engineering education, engineering training, and practice to come together and to deliberate on the issues that affect the engineering profession, as well as how the engineering practice will impact or will be aligned to the COP26 on matters to do with the climate change. The ACS convention is also important in the sense that it will come up with policy recommendations that will ensure public safety and welfare in the engineering services for sustainable development.
All right. Thank you for shedding light on what will be happening at the convention. And maybe to continue on that note, perhaps an update on the state of aligning the engineering education to outcomes-based requirements.
Yeah. Some of the topics that we are going to have during the convention will include safeguarding the public safety and welfare in engineering services, We shall also discuss Kenya's commitment to COP26 on aligning the engineering practice to mitigating climate change. We shall also discuss opportunities for growth in the liberalization of the professional engineering services at the regional and continental, including global levels. We shall also champion the shift to outcome-based engineering education in Kenya. Yes.
Now, you mentioned the COP26. Perhaps what roles do engineers in Kenya play in implementation of the commitments made during the UN COP26 on climate change?
Yes, it is a very, very important issue here, because engineers do design, they do supervise construction, and they do actually construction itself. And it is important that they look at factors that affect the climate, especially the environment, because any project must be checked to see that the impacts that it has on the environment are controlled as much as possible.
Very well. Perhaps what is the technical capacity of engineers in the counties for implementation of professional engineering services?
Yeah, I think at the county level, we have been facing some major challenges in that there is not adequate capacity. We have gone around the country, we have gone to many counties, and we have seen that they have not been able to employ professional engineers who have been registered by Engineers Board of Kenya. And most of the engineers who are employed by the county are graduate engineers. These are engineers who have come from the universities but have not gone through the necessary training and have not achieved the necessary experience to be able to come for interview at the Engineers Board of Kenya and to pass some exams which are set by Engineers Board of Kenya and sometimes our Institution of Engineers of Kenya. So we have a very big shortage, and this is something that will be discussed also in this convention, and we shall come with some solutions on how to handle that. And we believe that the county governments should try as much as possible to employ people who are qualified.
All right. Now, infrastructural projects in Kenya are currently dominated by foreigners. Perhaps maybe if you could expound, why is this the case?
Yeah, that is another major problem that we are facing. What I can say is that really we have properly trained professional engineers. But what has happened is that this market in Kenya has been opened up to foreigners, and therefore foreigners have come in a big way to an extent that there is a big competition between the locals and the foreigners. And it is a difficult scenario because some of our engineers who have been trained properly here and experienced here have actually gone out of Kenya to other countries. In fact, many of our engineers are working within the region, within the East African region. Some are in South Africa, others in Sudan, and many other areas in the world. And therefore, this is another topic that will come up during this convention.
Right. Even as the convention kicks off midweek, perhaps maybe how is the local engineering industry being empowered to take up projects as Kenya advances in development?
Yes. We as local engineers have been given a good chance also by some of the government agencies, some of the prestators that handle engineering issues. For example, Kenha, Kura, we have KERA, Kenya Roads Board, we have Kenya Pipeline Company, we have parastatals in the energy sector. They have employed substantially engineers who have been trained in Kenya. So there is a good opportunity that we have had there. Also, we have many consultants who have come up, local consultants, and they are able now to handle a lot of engineering designs, a lot of construction activities. They are able to oversight, and therefore there is a big chance there. But still, as we said, a lot more needs to be done. Also, there is also a law now about the 40% minimum local portion, which has been incorporated in our laws, whereby 40% of any work of construction nature needs to be given to the locals. And we have seen some joint ventures coming up between the local and the foreigners. And those now, that is one way of ensuring that we locals are getting involved.
Very well. Perhaps what is the role of engineering professionals in ensuring safety of the projects they're dealing with? We do apologize for that. And we're back. We do apologize. We're experiencing some power outage here at the studio. I'll take the question again. And perhaps what is the role of engineering professionals in ensuring safety of the projects they're dealing with?
Yeah, thank you. Also, that is a very important question. The role of engineer in ensuring public safety and welfare in a project is very, very critical. That no design should be done without having those aspects being looked at. Every design by an engineer must have a component of the safety, must have a component of welfare of all the people. You can imagine a building being constructed and without having looked at the design properly to ensure that it can stand in the first place. We begin by looking at where we are going to site the building, ensuring that the site is on a firm ground, to ensure that the building cannot sink or even, collapse because of that. Then in the design itself, when we do our calculations, we put a factor of safety, to ensure that this building will actually stand. While at the same time, we are looking at the economics of it. At the same time, during construction, we must ensure that public safety is guaranteed. We guarantee it by putting fences around it to ensure nobody can enter that site and find construction going on. We ensure that debris that come from the buildings are not falling on people. And we also ensure that the workers themselves, who are very critical, have the safety gear, the PPEs, to ensure that also they do not have a problem with the issue of safety. So these are some of the things that are very important. We also make sure that workers are trained to ensure that there is safety around them.
All right. Now, perhaps how is the policy environment supporting engineering in Kenya, and how is the streamlining of engineering profession doing?
The policies that govern engineering are doing very well. First of all, we have the Engineers Act of 2011, which was launched in 2013. The other act was we were transitioned in 2012, and that act merely dealt with the issues of registration of engineers. But the new act is quite broad-based. It has given Engineers Board a chance to ensure even the engineering education and engineering training and engineering practice is regulated by the board. So it has opened up opportunities. And also it has given us a chance to ensure that we are also compliant with the international laws as well governing engineering. And therefore, that is a very good opportunity so that we can ensure that our engineers, when they are trained here, are able to work across the board. They can go to within the region and be accepted because of the training, the education they have had, and the practice that they are having here. So when it comes to the Engineers Board of Kenya and the Act itself, I think we are quite comfortable with it. We also had some other engineers rule of 2019, which spelled out very, very clearly the areas that the EBK would handle. Yes, thank you.
All right. Perhaps before we wind up, how is the Engineers Body working with the Commission of University Education to align engineering courses to market needs to avoid graduates being stranded due to lack of jobs?
Oh, thank you. Yes, that is another area whereby the Engineers Board of Kenya has been working very hard to ensure that the education programs within the universities are properly accredited to ensure that those programs are acceptable, and they are not only acceptable but also acceptable to the industry itself. So whoever comes from the university is able to directly go to the industry out there and be accepted. And therefore, we have been having collaboration with the Commission of University Education, but of course, there is a small issue that is still to be handled, whereby the Commission of University Education has been given the sole mandate of accrediting the programs at the university. But we are in discussion whereby we are looking at an MOU between us and the Commission of University Education to allow us to at least advise them and also ensure that those programs at the university are acceptable, not only here locally, but also internationally. Because if it is not like that, it will be very difficult for our graduate engineers to find jobs outside Kenya. Thank you.
Perhaps, do you have any closing remarks?
Yes, I think the closing remarks is what is the future of our engineering. And what I can say is that the future of engineering will only get better. Since we have put in place engagement forums such as this, the Engineering Partnership Convention, that brings together stakeholders in the engineering sector and provides a perfect opportunity to discuss issues affecting engineering and how best to tackle them. And as a board, we have developed key policies such as Engineers Rules 2019 and also the scale of fees for engineering. This will ensure enhanced standards and also ensure the public safety. The board has also carried out structural audits out there, ensuring that all engineering structures are checked properly in order to curb cases of collapses of building structures.
All right, thank you so much. That was Engineer Dr. Johnson Omatu, who is a board member at the Engineers Board of Kenya. And remember, the third Engineering Partnership Convention kicks off mid this week in Mombasa. Now, we shall be crossing over to the DCI headquarters, whereby the launch of the state-of-the-art Directorate of Criminal Investigation Forensic Laboratory is being launched by President Uhuru Kenyatta. In attendance as well is the Interior Cabinet Secretary, Dr. Fred Matiang'i. And let's cross over and listen in.
Occasions for the National Police Service. Your Excellency, sir, today is your day. What I want to confirm to you, Your Excellency, the fraternity of the National Police Service, you have made us proud. You have taken us to another level of our capacity in investigations that will go beyond the borders of this country. And Your Excellency, with your permission, this facility is also going to benefit beyond our need where it will be possible. I know these officers, particularly the DCI officers and the rest of the National Police Service, they are very happy today. We have been waiting for this moment. It has come. Now we are going to showcase, and we are going to have a different way of doing the same job. With those few remarks, Your Excellency, I would like also to take this opportunity to invite the Cabinet Secretary to make his remarks before he invites you for your speech. CS, sir.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya and the Commander-in-Chief of the Kenyan Defense Forces, the Honorable Chief Justice and President of the Supreme Court of Kenya, my cabinet colleagues present, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, sir, with your very, very kind indulgence, before I invite you to speak and before I make some remarks, may I very humbly invite the Honorable the Chief Justice, who is the chairperson of the National Council for the Administration of Justice, to make a few remarks before I make mine. Honorable Chief Justice.
Thank you very much, Honorable CS. Your Excellency, our President and Commander-in-Chief of the Kenyan Defense Forces, the Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta, allow me also to stand on the protocols that have been established and say good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I'm honored to, on behalf of the National Council on the Administration of Justice, to stand before you and congratulate the Director of Criminal Investigations on the official commissioning of the National Forensic Laboratory. The institutions and actors in the Kenyan criminal justice sector are grateful for this development of National Forensic Laboratory, because it is going to enhance the effectiveness of our criminal justice sector. It will undoubtedly enhance also the DCI's criminal investigations capability. We all recognize that the criminal justice system is critical for our national security. The prosecution and judicial processes depend on the evidence brought to court by the investigators. Therefore, the enhancement of the efficiency and effectiveness of the investigations will no doubt have a positive ripple effect throughout the justice sector. Your Excellency, it is in this context that I, on behalf of the NCAJ and the judiciary, join you in celebrating the commissioning of the National DCI Forensic Laboratory, which, as we have witnessed, is a state-of-the-art facility with absolutely new technology, including those for DNA analysis and information management systems that will certainly provide more and better information and analysis of evidence to the investigations, thereby also enabling our courts to be seized of high-quality evidence and thus enabling them to render justice appropriately and get into a rightful and just convictions by helping investigations to go after the right suspects and helping the courts arrive at the right and just results at the end of the trials. To conclude, I want to say how happy we are to work with all the multi-sector agencies who are involved in this program and this facility, and say that we will continue to work within the principles of cooperation and cooperation to ensure the efficiency of the criminal justice sector. We all recognize we don't serve ourselves, we serve Kenyans, and therefore this power and authority that we are given is to exercise on behalf of others, and therefore we must work together in that spirit. It is such a collaborative approach that fosters coordination and cooperation amongst investigative, prosecution, and judicial bodies that ensures that our justice system operates optimally. Once again, congratulations and all the best as we move forward. God bless you. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Your Excellency, the President, my colleagues present here, both from Cabinet across the spectrum of public responsibility. On my own behalf and on behalf of my colleagues, I don't think we can thank you enough. The security sector people in this room know where we have come from. And Your Excellency, it takes leadership because of your vision. When you took the oath of office in 2013, many of these institutions and things we are talking about here were non-existent. Some of them people had not even thought about them. And today, when we look at the capacities we have acquired, it's a tribute to your focus, to your judgment, to your commitment to our country, especially to the commitment to the security sector. We are so grateful, sir. And our words will not say thank you enough. I want to ask my brothers and sisters in this sector, led by my brother, the DCI, that one way we can pay tribute to His Excellency the President is to use these resources effectively to make Kenyans even much more proud because of the turnaround time in investigations, because the song about sending samples to South Africa is coming to an end today, the song about a file has disappeared is coming to an end today, and the fact that we are seeing Kenyans in all the stations we have gone to this morning, Your Excellency, there isn't a single one of them that is manned by someone who's not a Kenyan citizen. What could make us more proud of your leadership than the fact that you have given us the pride as Kenyans to do our own things, to step up the global platform and measure up to international standards in the manner in which we deliver security to our people. Your Excellency, we are so grateful. And this is your day, it is not mine. Therefore, I want to request you, ladies and gentlemen, to be upstanding as I invite His Excellency, our President, to speak to us, officially open the forensic laboratory, and guide us from where we are going to next. Your Excellency, sir.
Thank you, Fred. Asante sana. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, we gather here today for this groundbreaking event that marks, finally, the official opening of the National Forensic Laboratory. And as we all know, the need for a modern, fit-for-purpose National Forensic Laboratory was a dream delayed for over 2 decades, thus robbing the people of Kenya the opportunity to make full use of the huge potential offered by technology and advanced science in unraveling crime. So once again, let me congratulate the teams that have been involved in getting us to this particular level. Hongera kwenu nyote. And let me say that the national endeavor here seeks to improve our ability to unravel complex crimes and therefore, most consequentially, support our criminal justice system through evidence-based investigations, enabling quick and reliable reconstruction of events, as well as identification of suspects through validated and internationally acceptable means. The evidence-led investigation that is enabled through these enhanced forensic capabilities will also help steer the modernization of the Directorate of Criminal Investigations and ensure that the Directorate meets the international policing norms and standards. As a supplementary dividend, it will also protect our police officers from unfounded allegations that have been there in the past. So this is therefore a milestone achievement. Through the ultra-modern facility, our shared commitment to unraveling capital offenses such as murder and robbery with violence and combating emerging and transnational organized crimes such as terrorism, drug trafficking, illicit arms trade, counterfeiting, smuggling, and offenses against wildlife also gets a monumental boost today. Let me at this juncture contextualize the reality we are confronted with. Over the past 2 decades, crime, as we have known it, has dramatically changed and expanded into new frontiers. 2 decades ago, cybercrime was still a niche concern, cryptocurrency was still an abstract concept, and the manipulation of digital resources to facilitate or to obscure real-world crimes was relatively rare. Today, criminals and their networks are using and utilizing advances in technology, as well as our increased interconnectivity to advance their nefarious goals. These shifts are the result of globalization and technology, and we have all felt the ripple effect of this change. And that is why the infrastructure that is housed in this facility is critical, because it will revolutionize our investigatory techniques through cutting-edge science to law enforcement actions, resulting in a safer and more just Kenya for all. So in that regard, this national undertaking is expected to disrupt established criminal patterns by forensic laboratory techniques, crime scene techniques, documentation, and proper transportation of exhibits, while also maintaining the chain of custody as well as the customs and borders security. I think it is also important to note that this unit is equipped with the very latest analytical technology equipment, scientifically validated, and in compliance with the guidelines of the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime for synthetic drug analysis. Therefore, the evidence generated will conform to the international standards norms test. The National Forensic Laboratory also augments the other groundbreaking programs and reforms that we have instituted in the criminal justice system since 2013. The Forensic Laboratory shall complement existing infrastructure while also meeting the fast-changing needs of both investigations as well as will also meet the fast-changing needs for both investigators as well as all stakeholders. The facility will provide an invaluable resource, not just within the criminal justice sector, but also to users in educational research, civil law, human science, and other fields. In keeping with our commitment to the one government service delivery model epitomized by the multi-agency framework, this facility will bolster the capabilities of a wide range of government bodies in fields as diverse as tax administration, wildlife, environmental protection, heritage, food safety, criminal justice, amongst others. So this occasion, therefore, is a highlight of the remarkable transformation that we have made in the tooling and retooling of our security organs as we seek to make them more capable to address the security challenges that our nation faces. A few of these programs and reforms that are worth mentioning include the urban security surveillance system, police housing, group medical and life insurance for police and prison officers, as well as the 2 level 4 hospitals that we intend to open later this month, one for the police and one for the prison services. And all these are intended to enhance the capacity of our police service, our prison service, and our entire criminal justice system. So, ladies and gentlemen, besides the success that has been achieved in this project, my administration's multi-agency approach and intelligence-led approach in tackling security issues has also significantly led to improved security, especially in netting terrorists, and a higher conviction rate for all criminal cases presented before court. So, ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, I note that the technological revolution of the last 2 decades has propelled Kenya as a global leader in technology. Kenya is today a global fintech hub, with the digital economy now being one of the key drivers of our economic development, creating enormous opportunities and employment to millions of our children. For example, in the year 2021, mobile money transactions surged by 63% to a record 15.3 trillion, up from 9.391 trillion in the year 2020. Therefore, as we aspire for a Kenyan where every citizen, enterprise, and organization has digital access and the capacity to participate and thrive in the digital economy, a new wave of crime is equally emerging that involves such things as swim swapping and the typical Tumakwahi number syndicate, all of which we must deal with properly. So today, even as we inaugurate this facility, I do direct that the Ministry of Interior, jointly with the Ministry of ICT, through the Communications of Kenya Universal Service Fund, to come up and to inform me within the next 2 weeks of how they can further strengthen the capacity of the cybercrime unit with this laboratory that we have just seen here. I also do further direct that the National Police Service will introduce mandatory and continuous professional development programs on cybersecurity for all officers charged with criminal investigations. So, ladies and gentlemen, having earlier unveiled a palak out there, a beautiful one, to mark the official opening of this facility, it is therefore now my distinct honor and profound privilege to declare the National Forensic Laboratory duly opened, and may this laboratory be a very powerful arrow in our law enforcement quiver and a resource that yields a faster spin of the wheels of justice in our nation. Nasema asanteni sana na Mungu awabariki wote. Asanteni sana. Thank you.
Tafadhali tusimame kwa wimbo wa taifa. Sote tuketi tumruhusu Mheshimiwa Rais aweze kutoka kwa ihari. Tafadhali.
Baba Ngiyoro, Raisi wetu.
And those were live pictures where at the DCI headquarters where President Uhuru Kenyatta has officially launched the state-of-the-art National DCI Forensic Laboratory. President Uhuru Kenyatta stated that it is a milestone achievement through the modern state-of-art forensic laboratory which will revolutionize and support the criminal justice system. The government has invested heavily in the construction of the physical structure and installed relevant state-of-the-art equipment in the 10 scientific labs in the laboratory, which include the forensic fingerprint identification, forensic document examination, forensic ballistics, forensic chemistry, forensic biology, imaging, acoustics, evidence management, crime science investigations, digital and forensic bomb and hazardous materials laboratory. At the same time, relevant experts drawn from the directorate have also been trained locally and internationally and have been deployed in their respective areas. And that brings us to the end of our bulletin this afternoon. Thank you for choosing Lunchtime News. My name is Jackie Wambiru. Sign language interpreter has been Anne Wangeshi. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
I can't stay here and accompany you. After I become a human, I won't remember what happened, and I won't remember you.
Is it because he's no longer here? The one he was waiting for was you.
Me? But why me?
You want the soul gem?
If you still value the time we spent together, please let me borrow the gem. That day I met you was the worst thing that ever happened to me.
Candidates from the 254 came together to put up a spectacular show in Eldoret. Let's check it out.
The Film Commission is mandated to develop and promote the local film industry and attract international productions in the country.
Luciano the Messenger killed the show as he looked really composed. With a lot of mojo, he sang his heart out, and truly the fans did not disappoint him as they jumped to his reggae tunes back to back.
And now I feel like, oh, you're the reason why I'm thinking I don't want to smoke all the cigarettes no more. This is what I get for wishful thinking. I shouldn't ever let you enter my door.